Ringville episode, The Perfect Ratio, Adonis Stone. Hey everyone, how you doing? My name is Kevin Herrera Sanchez, KHS, and welcome to another episode of Ringville. Today I have the absolute pleasure of sitting down with somebody who's wrestled for Shadow Pro Wrestling, Remarkable Wrestling, Titan Championship Wrestling, Expect the Unexpected Wrestling, We Are Wrestling, Loudeast Wrestling. He is the Loudeast Lionheart Champion from Harlem, New York. The Perfect Ratio, Adonis Stone. How you doing?
I'm good. How you feeling?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for coming down here.
Thank you for having me.
No, absolutely. Came in super fly with the leather jacket.
Oh, thank you.
And the shades, too.
Thank you.
And blessed us with the title, too.
Yeah.
Like, gotta represent, right?
Definitely. Got to represent everywhere you go.
Absolutely. You are someone who I know is very versatile in the ring. I've seen you hit moonsaults, of course. I've seen you hit suicide dives. I've seen you hit Canadian destroyers. I've seen you brawl, throw people from one side of the ring to the other side of the ring. Is that something that you knew you wanted to do when you were first getting into wrestling, or is that something you just picked up as you went?
That's something that I already knew. I came in with I named myself the perfect ratio. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's, attest to being able to do almost everything or do a little bit of everything.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Not being arrogant, but I am athletic.
Flex.
I am strong. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I do have speed. Mm-hmm. So why not use it?
When was the first Canadian destroyer hit?
I've never practiced that move. I never did it at training.
That's crazy.
My first Canadian destroyer was probably my best one to date. I reversed Yo-Yo's top rope Rana into a destroyer on Ken Broadway at ETU.
That sounds crazy.
In my first year of wrestling.
First year too?
My first year.
Okay. And you've only been wrestling for 3 years, which, by the way, you're incredible.
I appreciate that so much.
Of course. Because before that, you were a pro arena football player.
Yeah.
And you gave that up to become a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
Was that a hard decision to make?
Yeah, super tough. I still have thoughts of and the urge to play, still to this day. As an athlete, football has taught me how to, just discipline and the grit, you know what I'm saying? It taught me all of those things. But wrestling gave me the opportunity to use those things in a different light. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And it also gave me the opportunity to be creative as far as who I am. Mm-hmm. A lot of people call it a character, but I'm not no character. This is who I am.
Yeah.
Like you see Adonis Stone, like in the ring, out the ring, same. You know what I'm saying? Like this is who I am.
Right.
But making that transition was super tough.
What are your last months in football looking like in the sense of mentally of where you are, like kind of going back and forth on deciding?
When I first started to wrestle, I was still playing football. I'll have a show on Saturday, then I'll have a game on Sunday. Or I'll get lucky sometimes and have an early game and then a show.
On the same day?
On the same day. I loved it. Honestly, the only reason why I stopped playing football is because of the same day scheduling. If it was some way I can play still and wrestle, I would.
Because they tend to fall on weekends.
It tend to fall on the same day most of the days. So if I could, I would still be playing and wrestling at the same time.
What are some of the skills that transferred over from football into wrestling that really helped you when you were first starting?
Mainly footwork. A lot of moves are executed a certain way or the best way because of footwork and placement and, if I'm saying, stuff like that, which you got to be super aware of. You can't run the ropes and not have no footwork because you just bust your ass and you look like a fucking fool, yeah. So footwork was the biggest thing.
You were trained by Grim Reefer
Yes.
at Loudeast Wrestling.
Yes.
How did you find Loudeast Wrestling?
Loudeast Wrestling wasn't a thing when I found Reef. It was just him and, he ran the school in Queens, out of Queens. And my thing is always like trying to do something to challenge myself.
Okay.
But I'm not going to do anything random. I always loved wrestling ever since I was a little boy.
Yeah.
I've watched The Undertaker debut in 1990 as The Undertaker. Mm-hmm. I know he was whatever he was before that, but
we don't got to worry about that.
Yeah. But I watched that debut, and I just been in love. So I'm sitting there, and what happens, right, is like as a wrestling fan, a lot of people want to become a wrestler but don't know how to go about it.
Yeah.
They don't know how to get into it. They don't know where to go or who to speak to.
Right.
By the way, you want to become a wrestler and want to train, hit me up.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Reef is the best trainer, period. But yeah, I'm sitting there in the bathroom, and his ad came up on Facebook. So I'm like, this is a sign.
Right.
This is a sign. And I called my lady, and I'm like, yo, we going to Queens when you get home from work. No waiting.
Like the same day you found the ad?
Same day. I'm like, we going to Queens as soon as you get home from work. She was like, okay. So we went to Queens, and I'm a visual learner. I'm athletic, but
same. Yeah,
I'm a visual learner. And I met Reef, but I wasn't calling him Reef at the time. I was calling him by his real name. And I was just standing outside of the ring and watching a couple of other young wrestlers go through a spot.
Okay.
And one of the wrestlers was Johnny Rambo. And
which is one of your stablemates.
Was.
Oh, was. My fault.
He's a traitor.
Dang.
Bitch ass.
That's great.
So I watched them run through the drill or whatever about 5 minutes. And I nudged my lady and I was like, I can do that. Mind you, I had on like jorts. Mm-hmm. If you look on my social media, you would see exactly what I'm saying. I got in the ring and I did the drill. Yeah. And ever since then, Reef leaned in on me. He leaned in. He leaned in hard. And I appreciate him for that because he taught me what I needed to know to be who I am as a wrestler now.
Okay. And
in the future. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Reef is my OG, and I've never been trained by anybody else. A lot of people go to a lot of schools and stuff like that, which I respect everybody's decision, but I only have one trainer. That's Reef, which is the best trainer. He's going to get you ready for a show. He's going to get you ready to be under the lights. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's why I look so seasoned in the ring. I look like everybody always tell me, yo, when I tell them 3 years, it's like, yo, bro, you like you've been wrestling for 10, 15 years.
When I was looking into just your career and like your past career, I was like, 3 years? This gotta be wrong. He gotta be lying. Like, ain't no way it's only been 3 years.
It was a week after my 32nd birthday. And that was the thing, like every birthday I try to do something new, do something fresh to keep you know what I'm saying? And my 32nd birthday was wrestling. Nice. A week out. September 15th made 3 years. So I'm coming up on, 4 years soon. But Reef, Best trainer, bro. You ever want to be a wrestler, go to Grim Reefer.
There you go.
And that cloth that I'm cut from is the right cloth for this business, because it's not just in-ring things. It's how you carry yourself outside the ring with respect, and respect for who you was trained by and what school you coming from. You know what I'm saying? Because just like your parents always told you, you know, going outside, you don't just represent yourself, you represent us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're a product of, you know what I'm saying, the household.
Right.
So if you look like if you going out there being a badass kid and being disrespectful, what it look like you learning at home? You know what I'm saying? It look like that's what we teaching you. If I go out here being an asshole and doing all types of stupid shit and not carrying myself with respect, it look like that's Reef is who taught me that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that is not the case at all.
What are some of the most like important lessons you learned from Reef?
Respect and loyalty in this business. And when I say that, I've always had respect and loyalty. But it's just the way you use it in this business.
Okay.
It's a little bit different than, you know, regular shit in regular situations, because you're not dealing with regular shit in regular situations in wrestling. You know what I'm saying? There's some weird shit going on that you got to maneuver around. Yeah. So it's like he taught me those things. You know what I'm saying? He taught me just timing and storytelling, and, you know, timing, not just in the ring timing, like even when you're in at a show and you want to get some advice from an OG, somebody that's been in the business for a while, somebody that's hot. You know what I'm saying? It's a certain way you go about it. You don't just bum rush them like a fan, like a mark. Right. You don't do that. You have your moments. You know what I'm saying? Because these people are people, and everybody is coming at them. You know what I'm saying? You want to add to that? Nah, you gotta take your time. You gotta get in where you fit in. And Reef does that. You know what I'm saying? If you look at like my matches, I pay a lot of tribute to Reef. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like the weed in the ring. I don't even smoke, but that's another story.
He was like, you know what, not this right now. Like, So you find Reef before Loudeast starts.
Yeah.
What was that like period when there was that conversation of, okay, let's get Loudeast going?
Reef calls me his guy.
Okay.
Oh, man, he's real like mafia type. So it's like that's my guy. That's family. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So in the conversation, it's like, you know, yo, fuck these other guys. Not in a bad way, but it's like, you know, we gotta have something for us. Right. You know what I'm saying? We gotta have something for us, and we can really do this for us and create opportunities for others. You understand what I'm saying? I do. So it's like, how do we get this started, and who we allow to be a part of? You know what I'm saying? Who do we think would represent our brand the right way, the way that we believe in? You know what I'm saying? So the conversation is really easy because a lot of his beliefs I share. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So the development on Loudeast was kind of easy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's just visual now, like, you know what I'm saying? Production, you know, things that have come over time. Yeah, yeah. And then it's more of that, like, being cut from the same cloth. Right, right. So it's easy. Conversation with him and I are easy because we understand. And a lot of things that are understood don't need to be explained. Was there a bit of, like, hesitant to get into wrestling because of your age? Hell no. No? Hell no. All right. That made it more fun. That made it more fun. I have a child. My oldest child is going to be 21. Okay. And I say that because a lot of these young wrestlers are the same age. Right. and I'm in the ring with these guys. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, they're young in the business, and they're young in real life. I'm young in the business, so we learn the same shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, the difference between them and I'm more calm. I'm more. You know what I'm saying? I came in as an athlete already, as a professional athlete already. So I came in a little seasoned. So I use that. Yeah, I use that to my advantage. My age is my superpower.
Nice. Yeah, because I remember, like, earlier in wrestling, like maybe like 2000s, and even before then, where it's like, once a wrestler hit their 30s, it was kind of done for them. It's like they would start like going. And we've now entered this time where it's like their 30s and 40s are their new prime. To where it's like even people like Batista started training in their 30s, Nyla Rose in their 30s, you know, Goldberg in their 30s, like Shayna Baszler like transitioned from UFC in like her mid 30s, and like how, like, in what ways do you realize that it has benefited you to enter wrestling at this stage in your life?
My thought process,
Okay.
my mind state. I think if I would have did it any younger, I wouldn't have taken it as serious as I do now.
Okay.
And I think some of the young guys can be so much better or do so much more because there's so much talent right now. If they took it as serious as they're supposed to. Because this shit can really take you places. For real. This wrestling business, and if you take it serious the way you're supposed to, and that's why I call my age my superpower, because I understand that.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? I understand that. Like, this is important. It's fun, yeah, but we could turn it from fun. We could use the fun, implement the fun, and create something within ourselves. You feel what I'm saying? To become something more than what we are.
Right.
And I think your prime is in your 30s. I think that's where you understand what I'm saying? That's where you are the most mature, the most, not fresh, but like you got your grown man strength.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? You can do what your thought process is close to being like 50 years old, but your body can still do, if done properly, can still do what a 21-year-old can do.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
So you're in the middle, which is so perfect. It may not last as long as you would want it to, but it's still based on how you take care of yourself.
Right.
I said prior to this question, I said I didn't smoke because I stopped smoking over a year ago.
Congrats on that, man.
Thank you. Yeah. Now, you can create the career you want. Give yourself 20 years, right? I'm 30, I'll be 36 this year. So in 20 years, I'll be 56, right? Yeah. Give myself the 20 years, right? To become whoever I want to become, but put in the work, super hard work, right? 20 years, 56 is still kind of young. I can still live life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We been here before I was born, and it's gonna be here when I die. So when I get to 56, I'll smoke in my sleep.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not saying I'm gonna stop at 56. I'm just saying, like, if these young guys had that type of thought process, these young guys, I said, is 20, 21, 22, even 25. So 20 years for them is 45.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You become a millionaire and never have to work again at 45 years old nowadays. If they had that thought process, if they understand how important what they're doing is, it would be so much different. And that's why my age is my superpower.
You understand that?
I understand that.
You can always tell who gets it.
Yeah.
Because wrestling isn't just wrestling anymore.
Nah.
It's so much more layered.
Yeah.
And there's so many other factors that like play into not only becoming like a wrestler, but becoming someone who is booked on shows consistently and makes it a living.
Yeah.
Like, what are some of those factors for you that like help you outside of being in the ring?
Helping others. I love helping people, bro. Like, I say that the young guys don't understand how important it is, but I feel like at my age, it's important for me to help them understand outside the ring, have those kind of conversations. You feel what I'm saying? And watching them implement it. And that's the dopest part for me. I love helping, bro. I love helping people, bro. Like, that's my biggest thing, bro.
Yeah.
My motto is I eat, everybody eat.
Right.
Feel me? Like, so that helps. Feel what I'm saying? It ain't always easy. Feel what I'm saying? Some young guys don't want to learn, or they want to not necessarily they don't want to learn. It's they want to go about it their own way.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But yeah, that helps, helping others in the generation after me.
How much does winning a title mean to you in the sense of getting that like confirmation of like, okay, what I'm doing is working, and like I'm doing something that maybe somebody else isn't doing because they trust me with the title?
As far as the title giving confirmation, that's not the only confirmation that I look for.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And which it is, gravely appreciated that I am trusted to represent the company as the Loudeast Lionheart. But that's not the only confirmation that I get. I also mainly the fans, seeing a little kid in the crowd. I don't have to be champion to inspire one child to be like, which freaks me out because it's like, wow, I did not know. It's like a kid saying, Adonis, you're the best. Or children waiting outside the locker room.
Yeah.
Or wanting my headband, or waiting at my merch table and wanting a picture, or wanting my armbands, or even sticking a hand out to give me a 5, bro. That's confirmation.
Nice.
I am blessed enough to be able to do that. You feel what I'm saying? And that's prior to being a Loudeast Lionheart. But of course, being a Lionheart is dope as shit. And Reef stock and Reef investing as much stock into me as he does, and trusting me in the way he does, that's also confirmation.
Yeah.
That's also confirmation. That means he trained me, he seen me work, and he trusts me because he trusts the fact that I'm going to put in the work. And he trusts the fact that I'm going to have integrity when he's not there to represent us the right way. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
So all that's confirmation, which is dope as shit. Or even, you know what else is confirmation? Being asked to come here and have conversations with you, that's also confirmation. You feel what I'm saying? Like, being here is dope as shit.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
OD. OD.
She. How important is the Greatest Wrestling Alliance to you?
Ooh, that's my baby. It's important to me because it's all relative. What I'm about to say is, it's all relative. I love helping people. I love helping everybody, bro. If I can help, I'm gonna help. I don't give a shit if I have $1 on me, bro. If I can help, I'm gonna help. And GWA, the Greatest Wrestling Alliance, is a family-grown, owned business. And it's for the upcoming and the forgotten talent. Guys that are up and coming and trying to make a name for themselves, and guys that are that's been around for a little while, but they get overlooked.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? I give them a light. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like I've had conversations with people about the show, fans and talent, and everybody say the same thing. It's not like a regular wrestling vibe. It's like a family, like just a get together.
Yeah.
Because it's not about just in the ring, bro. It's the family. My daughter is running concessions. My daughter and my godson are running concessions, right? My lady is the ring announcer. Family is at the door. You know what I'm saying? It's just
I've experienced this. Yes.
it's just, yo, bro. It's the locker rooms. The locker room is dope environment, dope energy. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, creating jobs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Giving people opportunities to make some money, doing a thing that they love. It can't get no better than that. It can't get no better than that, bro.
Not at all. When it comes to creating a certain feel or mood inside of a locker room, what are the things that you look for?
Some of the things I look for in a locker room are like, camaraderie.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, no fuckery. No fuckery. And I understand that's hard to ask for in this world. Like, no fuckery, because fuckery is always gonna happen.
People be fucking around. Like,
yeah. Fuckery is always bound to happen, but like, it depends on how we get through the fuckery.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
If we are able to get through the fuckery, you feel what I'm saying? Those qualities I look for in a locker room. You feel what I'm saying? Smiles and laughs and jokes. And you know who was big on that? Vince Steele.
Was he?
Yeah. Rest in peace, Vince Steele.
Rest in peace.
He was, his energy was bigger than his body. Yeah. That positive energy that he had, that love in his heart. Yo, bro, me and Vince used to always just sit in the locker room and just laugh about shit. People like that, and that energy that Vince still had, is the energy that I look for in a locker room. And he's a vet. Yeah. He's done a lot of shit before I came along. He didn't have to even speak to me, because some talent are like that. His energy was so powerful, it carried through the whole locker room. That's the energy. That's the energy.
That's it. I didn't have the pleasure of meeting Vince Steele, but every time somebody brings him up, where it's like, just like people have been sharing those stories, and it's like, it just seems like he was a great time to be around. Like,
every time you meet somebody and they talk about Vince Steele, that's you meeting him, because that's them carrying a piece of his energy. So that's you meeting a piece of him, getting a piece of him. I just gave you another piece of Vince Steele. You know what I'm saying? That was one dope ass dude. Nikolai, which I heard you say my name, I'm gonna get to that. But Nikolai said live at a show, he said, which was Shadow's last show, he said, Vince Steele was an angel walking amongst us humans. I couldn't have expressed it no better than that. Vince Steele was one of those dudes where you'll never hear nothing negative about him. Ever. 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 There's no way you could. Never, bro. GWA was one of his last shows also. I brought him on a GWA. Of course, he had that energy in the locker room. Working with guys like that, whether it's I can imagine from a promoter standpoint, or just being one of the boys, it makes the job so much easier. It makes it so much easier. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're going to call that the Vince Steele energy.
Yeah.
The locker rooms need the Vince Steele energy. We're going to call it that. I'm sorry.
No, that's a beautiful thing. In 2024, you made the top 500 black wrestlers list that Righteous Reg does. You were number 413.
Yeah.
With only, once again, 3 years in the game, how much does that mean to you?
What? First of all, I didn't know there was that many black wrestlers in the world. 500?
It's crazy, right?
It's crazy.
Yo, shout out to Righteous Reg for that.
Word.
He's just like legitimately showing people like, look, we're here.
Yeah, we're here. Yes, we're here. I don't even know how to articulate the feeling about being 413 on top 500. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's nuts. I was on the same list as guys like Darius Carter, R-Truth, Kofi Kingston, Swerve. I think Swerve was number 1 or 2.
I believe so.
Yeah. Guys like that, it's crazy. I'm on a list with these guys. 3 years in. Well, last year, 2 years, 2 and some change in.
Right.
Bro, grateful beyond measure. That's all I can say about that. But at the same time, I am me. So I gotta crack that. I gotta crack that, what's that other list?
PWI?
I gotta crack that list. I would love to crack that list. That would be another honor, you know what I'm saying? I always say I didn't get in this game for nothing. You know what I'm saying? I became a wrestler to be
A wrestler.
in the conversation of being one of the greatest of all time.
Okay.
Period. It doesn't make any sense for me to get in a business at 32 years old and not have that on my mind.
Yeah.
That is the goal, to be in a conversation, because then I will forever be in the conversation of wrestling.
Yeah.
To be one of the greatest of all time. And when you ask people, how was he, on a personal level, they'll describe me the way I just described Vince Steele. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Adonis Stone always helped out. He always showed love. He always had great energy. That's the legacy that I want to leave. On top of being one of the greatest of all time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the conversation with guys like John Cena, Ric Flair, the greatest small guy ever, Rey Mysterio. Just those guys, you know what I'm saying? In the conversation, one of my favorites, Stone Cold, Bret Hart, those guys. I want to have matches that create those type of moments where it gives you chills and you just want to share that moment, and just when you go on YouTube, you just go back to that moment. You search a fucking Stone Cold and Bret Hart, the feud.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? You search Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels. You search up Eddie winning his first world title. That moment where he shit. And then I know this is the wrestling business and we don't say his name much or whatever, but the moment where Chris Benoit won his title and then Eddie came in and shared that moment and how big that moment was. Yeah. Those moments that we search up and still give us chills and shit. Yeah. This day, those are the moments that I want to create. Because that's how you become one of the greatest of all time. I always said one of my main goal in life is to live forever. And that's how you do it, creating those moments, those unforgettable moments.
Right. Like there's this interesting way of like telling it where it's like, if you have to tell the story of wrestling, do you include this specific person?
You have to. That you talk about for me or
just in general, or like that's how you know you are one of those, like,
right.
greats.
When you have the conversation of wrestling, I want it to be where you have to mention my name. Oh, Adonis Stone did this, and this, and this. Right. But I also know that it comes from not just in-ring things. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? How many times you searched up Batista's entrance?
Countless. I was in it.
How many times we searched up Batista's entrance and did it in the house? You understand what I'm saying? How many times we did this?
Yeah.
How many times?
Or sit down like CM Punk.
Come on. Come on. Those moments, those are going to live forever. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's, like I said, those are the moments that I want to create.
What are some of your proudest accomplishments in your wrestling career?
The other day, I was, a fan pulled me over and said, he didn't, because I wasn't in gear, he didn't know who I was. He didn't know I was Adonis Stone.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. You were incognito.
Right, I was incognito.
That's funny though.
So one of the guys, one of his friends was like, yo, Adonis, he knew who I was. But the guy, his friend, he didn't know who I was. Okay. And he was like, yo, Adonis, he was giving me, love. He showing me mad love. He was like, we was just talking about you. We were just talking about when you dived off the balcony. And his friend looked at him and was like, that's him? And he was like, yeah, that's Adonis Stone. And he was like, yo, bro, that was one of my first shows. And that's the only thing that I remember is this dude jumping off a balcony. And I was like, that shit meant to me the same as becoming one of the top 500 black wrestlers in the world, becoming a Lionheart champion, or just like I said, going around and shaking a kid's hand, or a kid telling me like, "You're the best," and all that. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like that moment right there, it might be my number one moment, bro. A fan telling me like that was the only thing that he remembered from a show. When Reef taught me, you can be the best of the best or the best of shit.
That's good.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that show that I did that on, it had guys like Ken Broadway and Marcus Mathers. Guys like that. It was an ETU show. Which meaning it was a great show.
Right, yeah.
Shout out to Struggles.
Those cards are incredible.
Shout out to Struggles. And Struggle always puts on great shows. So for a fan to be there and only remember my dive off a balcony, it's a dive off a balcony.
Yeah, that's no easy feat. Like,
but for him to say that, man, that shit.
The impact.
Yo, that's one of the moments that I set out to create. Is that moment where a fan feels like that about something that I've done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. That's fire.
OD.
Shit. Well, yo, thank you very much for taking the time and sitting down with me.
Okay. Yo, thank you for allowing me to come in your beautiful studio.
Appreciate that.
This shit is dope as hell.
They only ever see this,
Yo, y'all only see this. But this shit is fire. The way he got this shit set up, and when y'all see this shit, the quality is dope as fuck.
Appreciate that.
These chairs is comfortable too, so don't sleep on the chairs.
That's funny though. They come with, so.
Yo.
Anything else you want to plug to the cameras and like social medias, merch?
Social media, y'all know me, Adonis Stone. search up Adonis Stone. Of course, I got my Cuban flag next to my name. Next GWA show, June 14th, so look out for that. You know, we create moments. We create moments and inspiring people. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I eat, everybody eat. And that's set in stone. You feel what I'm saying?
There you go. Perfect way to cap it off. Until next time, everyone. We out.